This program is brought to you by the Vegetarian Society of Hawaii, a nonprofit organization dedicated to sharing with the community the many benefits of a vegetarian diet. Free monthly meetings include vegetarian experts found locally and on the mainland, quick and easy cooking demonstrations, and helpful and delicious food samples. Members enjoy an informative quarterly newsletter, social activities, and discounts at many vegetarian-friendly restaurants and health food stores. For an application, call 944-8344. That's 944-8344. Or visit our website at www.vsh.org. vsh.org.
Aloha and welcome to the monthly public presentation of the Vegetarian Society of Hawaii. Since 1990, the Vegetarian Society of Hawaii has been following our mission of promoting human health, animal rights, and protection of the environment by means of vegetarian education, as we've grown to become one of the largest all-volunteer, non-profit vegetarian societies in the nation. And we're very proud to say that we are celebrating our 25th birthday this year. It's now time for our special guest. We're delighted to have with us Chef AJ. Chef AJ has followed a plant-based diet for over 37 years. The author of Unprocessed, she is the host of the new television series Healthy Living with Chef AJ, which will soon air on Foody TV, as well as a weekly podcast of the same name. The former executive chef at Sante Restaurant in Los Angeles, all of her decadent desserts are free of sugar, oil, and salt, using only whole dates to sweeten. She believes in using the fruit, the whole fruit, and nothing but the fruit. Chef AJ has a certificate in plant-based nutrition from eCornell and is a member of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. She's also the creator of the ultimate weight loss program, look at her, and has helped hundreds of people achieve the health and the body they deserve. As the creator and co-producer of Healthy Taste of LA, Chef AJ has hosted 13 of these successful events throughout California and enjoys introducing people to the functional science. Chef AJ resides in Los Angeles with her handsome, plant-based husband, Charles, and their rescued mutt, Sparky, whom I believe is a TV and movie star.
Runs in the family.
And AJ can be reached at www.eatunprocessed.com, and the replays of her podcasts can be found at www.healthytasteonline.com. Chef AJ's presentation tonight is entitled, Are You Ready to Go Unprocessed? Please join me in welcoming Chef AJ.
Thank you. Thank you. Okie doke. So, yes, I am Chef AJ from LA, and we're going to do 6 recipes in 1 hour. Last night I had an hour to do 3, so we're going to double up tonight. First thing I'm going to do is nutrient-rich black bean soup. As Lorraine said, all my recipes are whole food, plant-based, gluten-free, also free of sugar, oil, and salt, and they're unprocessed, which means they're from fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and nuts and seeds. So I don't use anything in a bag, a box, a bottle, or a can, but there's a few things that are going to sneak in, but we'll explain why, but they actually are still unprocessed. So Americans eat over 92% of their calories from animal products and processed food and less than 10% from fruits and vegetables. The vegetable that most Americans eat is right, and I love potatoes. I put one on the cover of my book Unprocessed, but we don't eat potatoes steamed, we don't know what that means, steamed, baked, or boiled. We eat them as largely as French fries, which are fried in sugar, fat, and salt, or potato chips in sugar, fat, and salt. Our Congress actually says that French fries are considered a vegetable now. So you take a whole natural food like a potato that's 400 calories a pound, and you turn it into a food-like substance that's now 2,500 calories a pound. So Americans generally don't eat vegetables, especially the Greek vegetables, so I'm going to teach you how to sneak vegetables in your food so that your husband and your children will eat them because they won't know that they're in there. So we're starting with 12 cups of water. You certainly could use no sodium vegetable broth if you want. We're going to show you how to use a pressure cooker later, and you can make your own broth absolutely free. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to throw everything in. I cut some of this up in advance just to save time, but these are 2 pounds of sweet potatoes. I don't believe in cutting stuff up, it takes too long. Anybody know what this vegetable is? Chard, right. Red chard, just put it in. Don't cut anything up. Chopping is for suckers, so don't bother. 1 pound of organic baby bella mushrooms. Go on in. There we go. We've got 2 red onions. And because we're not using oil, we save money, calories, and time because we don't have to do that step. I found another leaf of chard. Anybody know what these are called? Right, but here they're called pak choi. It's weird. It was P-A-K-C-H-O-I, but where I live in America, oh, is this America? Okay, sorry. In North America, or whatever you call it, mainland, LA, what do I know? I skipped 4th grade, I missed geography. It's called B-O-K-C-H-O-Y. Here it's P-A-K-C-H-O-I. So you just put everything in. We're going to be using 2 pounds of corn. I'm going to put 1 in now, 1 in a little bit later for texture. Just make sure, I believe to use all organic if you can, but make sure that if 3 things, always use organic: soy, corn, and wheat, because they're the 3 most heavily genetically modified crops. So that is, almost everything I believe is organic. These are sun-dried tomatoes. This is about 3 ounces of sun-dried tomatoes. It takes about 4 pounds of tomatoes to make 3 ounces of sun-dried tomatoes, so it's very intense flavor. I use that because I don't use salt. Garlic, I don't even measure. You know, with garlic, if a little's good, just throw it in. More is even better. Oh, well, what would black bean soup be without the black beans? Now, I am using a canned product, but it's a BPA-free can. It's salt-free and it's organic, so I don't mind. So I'm using 6 cans of black beans, which is the equivalent of 9 cups of beans. Now, if you wanted to cook the beans yourself, like in a pressure cooker, which we're going to show you how to use pretty soon, you would need 9 cups. And when you use, anybody here have a pressure cooker, by the way? Aren't they great, especially the electric ones? I prefer the Instant Pot, and I'm going to show you how to use it in a little bit. But beans, which can take about 2 or 2.5 hours on the stove, with a pressure cooker, takes about 10 minutes if you soak them. So we're going to put half the beans in now, and then we're going to blend this soup, and then we're going to put half the beans in later so there's texture. You could blend it all, but because I'm blending it, I don't have to cut anything up. If you don't like using cans, again, you can make it yourself, or stores now sell beans in aseptic cartons, which are great for travel because you don't even need a can opener. You can just tear it open. So there we go. And the spices. I pre-measured them. We have 2 tablespoons of cumin, 2 tablespoons of oregano, and a teaspoon of chipotle powder. I like things really spicy, being from LA, influenced by Mexican food, but I made it sort of mild tonight just because you never know who you've got. We're gonna put the top on. 30 minutes, we're gonna have soup. Really easy. Recipe number 1, okay. Recipe number 2. Wow, see, wasn't that easy? I mean, come on. These recipes are so easy, even my husband can make them, and he has. So I tested them all on the blind, actually. When I used to work at the Braille Institute in Los Angeles, I was a volunteer culinary instructor, because most people have gone blind due to type 2 diabetes, which is not only preventable on a whole food plant-based diet, but largely reversible. Unfortunately, once they achieve blindness, that's not so much reversible, I don't believe. So I tested all my recipes in Unprocessed on my blind students. So what I'm gonna do now is make a red lentil chili in the pressure cooker. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blend a few things in the Vitamix first. This is the equivalent of 2 cans of salt-free fire-roasted tomatoes. I've got 3 ounces of dates. That's what I use for sweetness, or fruit in general. I don't use any sugar, real or fake. There we go. We're gonna put in, I didn't know Patricia Bragg was coming, but just so happens I bought the best apple cider vinegar anyway, which is Bragg's, and I actually do drink this every day, a cup of hot water with a tablespoon of Bragg's, and I'm not just saying that because you're here, it actually is the truth. And it just happened to pull that brand. So about 8 cloves of garlic. There we go. I don't think you can ever have too much garlic. I don't really have a tablespoon measure, but this is a tablespoon, but I'm just gonna eyeball it. It's 4 tablespoons or a 1/4 cup. That's to balance the sweetness from the dates, so it's a little bit sweet and sour. There we go. What else? Oh, bell pepper. When you do use a blender, put the more liquidy stuff in first. These are 2 red bell peppers. And that's getting mighty full. Gonna blend. Always, let's see, are we plugged in?
Probably not.
Okay, always helps if you plug it in. I do recommend that. While he's plugging it in, I'll take this out. This is just a can of tomato paste. You don't really have to blend it. You could cut these things up, but if there's a machine to do it, I'd rather have the machine do it. And also, I like the pureed texture in this chili, so that's why we're doing it. And tell me when we're ready. Yeah? Nope.
Or not.
We're not ready.
We blew it.
We blew it? Nothing's plugged in. How could I have blown anything? All right, so what, but there's nothing plugged in. All right, so what I'll do is while we're getting that going, I will go up to the pressure cooker while they figure it out. The pressure cooker's all the way over there. There we go. So, you know, I actually take this with me everywhere I go. This is actually Lorraine's, but I have a few of these. And I travel full time. I have for the last 4 years. I take this in my hotel room, and I cook in my hotel room. I can make potatoes and rice and greens. Okay, so I already have 8 cups of water in here, hot water. I'm adding 1 pound of red lentils. I just like them better than the green or the black because they cook up nice and fast, and when I'm serving people that aren't plant-based, I think it prettier, the red ones. I've got 1 red onion that's been chopped. I've never cooked sitting down before, but that's how easy it is with a pressure cooker. How y'all doing? Okay. Oh, you're a yoga teacher, look what I can do. Okay, all right, sorry, okay. Almost can do it, almost. Well, okay, so here's a great thing to do. Whenever you have spice jars, instead of throwing them away, what I do is I wash them in the dishwasher, the label comes off, and I use them for all my spices. There's about 7 different spices in this chili, and most people don't make 7 different dinners every week and 7 different breakfasts, 7 different lunches. Whether they're vegan or not, they find a few of their favorites and they repeat. Okay, I'll be right there. All right. Okay, here we go. They're really making me work, aren't they? Okay. But it's so easy. When you have a pressure cooker, you save money because you buy things in bulk, like lentils, split peas, and beans that are very inexpensive. You save time because you don't have to sit there and babysit. You really just put everything in, you push a button, you set it, forget it. This is called the Instant Pot, and what I like about it is it has a stainless steel insert instead of a non-stick insert. And it replaces so many appliances because it's also a rice cooker, and it actually cooks rice faster than your rice cooker. It's a yogurt maker, and it's also a slow cooker, so you can get rid of so many of your other appliances. Okay, just need to close this. There was hot water, so there we go. Just take a second. There we go. There's a bunch of buttons on this, but I have no idea what they mean because I never read the book. So what I do is I just use, that's not how I roll. So I just push the one button that says manual, and I put in the amount of time, which is 10 minutes. And that's it. I may have gone to culinary school, but I don't cook like a chefy chef because I'm a regular person and I have things to do, like yoga. All right. Okay, now it's not going to be 10 minutes from this second, it's going to be 10 minutes from when it goes up to pressure. And a blender boy, yeah. Oh, you're blender boy. Okay, okay. There's so many, they're giving me so many good looking guys to help. All right, recipe number 2. Recipe number 3. This is one of my favorites. And again, I was able to find, what's really great is I teach in some towns that are so small, like 1,000 people, that I really can't find the ingredients. I was able to find everything I needed for my demo with the exception of pomegranate seeds. And then we finally did find those. But maybe they're out of season, I don't know. But they really do make this recipe really special. And by the way, all 6 recipes we're making are from my book Unprocessed, and then you're getting a bonus recipe that's a new recipe that's not in there. All right, so this is quinoa salad with pomegranate seeds and currants and pistachios. So I pre-cooked the quinoa because I needed it chilled, and I cooked it in my pressure cooker. Took 2 minutes. Everything's faster with a pressure cooker. Yeah, isn't that great? Quinoa cooks very fast anyway. It takes about 10 minutes, but in the pressure cooker it took about 2 minutes. Quinoa is technically a seed. We use it often as a grain. It's very high in protein. Not that you have to worry about getting enough protein on a plant-based diet, but people often worry about that. And it's gluten-free. So I have 2 pounds that have already been cooked and chilled. And what I did is I got this in the bulk section of Down to Earth, and I mixed the red and the white just because I think it looks pretty that way. But you could use all red or all white, and they even, I believe, have a black quinoa now. This is a great recipe to take to potlucks or to make for the holidays, or to serve to regular people, like people that don't eat this way, because they just think it tastes really good. These are the pomegranate seeds. They do add a lot to this salad, so if you like this salad and you see pomegranate seeds, I got these at Safeway, freeze them so that you can make this salad all year round. So, and these things they're so delicious. That's my favorite thing to put in a salad, pomegranate seeds. And these are my herbs. This is about 1 pound of herbs that I chopped really finely. I actually used my food processor to chop them. And what it is it's fresh mint, Italian flat leaf parsley, and scallions. And that's it. So my salad dressing, I don't use oil, I don't use salt. So how do I make salad dressing taste good? This is it, my secret, lime juice. It's fabulous. Now, if I didn't have a ruptured tendon, I would have done it from scratch. I would have used fresh limes because the zest adds a lot of flavor, especially when you're not using salt, but organic lime juice I'm okay with. And this is a double recipe, so it's going to be 2 cups. I've had people say, oh my God, what is this delicious dressing? And that's it, it's lime juice. You could use lemon juice. I think lime juice is sweeter. I've used orange juice and I used cherries instead. But we're going to really make this delicious by adding currants. I like currants better than raisins because they're smaller and they disperse better. But you could certainly use any dried food you want, preferably one without sugar and one without sulfites. And pistachios. These are raw and unsalted. There we go. Okay. Anyway, you just mix this up. I don't know if you can see this, but it's really pretty. It's red and green. I actually developed this for a Christmas class many years ago because it was red and green, and the little red pomegranate seeds sort of look like the Christmas lights, and the herbs are green. And that's that. Very easy. Now, if you were making this to take to a potluck or in advance, I wouldn't put the nuts in until right before serving because they get really soggy. And Russell, don't you hate when your nuts get soggy? Yeah. Me too, because they just don't taste as good. Oh, you guys, what you were thinking. I was talking about the pistachios. But this is a pretty salad. It's a delicious salad. It almost tastes like dessert. I will even eat this for breakfast. It's so good. And that's it. Really, really easy. And believe it or not, my husband is the only person I've ever met that's allergic to quinoa. And I don't know how, because it's a relatively new grain to him. So whenever I go somewhere, I always demo this because we can't have it in the house. But if you were allergic to it, you could use another grain. I don't see why you couldn't use rice or millet or something like that, but quinoa is very good in this. And I don't know about here, but where I live, you can even get quinoa already cooked now. Actually, I did see it today in your store. You can get frozen quinoa already cooked. I was going to say at Trader Joe's, but you guys have everything in Hawaii that a person could want except for Trader Joe's. And the only reason I don't leave Los Angeles is because I literally live next door to Trader Joe's. Literally. And so, because you can't find parking at Trader Joe's, so you have to live next door if you ever want to go there. And you take for granted all the things. But what you guys have here that we don't have are the purple Okinawan potatoes. I eat those every day. I have to have my food flown in. Oh, wait a minute, you do too. I forgot. But I buy them from a small family farm in Hawaii. I've been doing that for about a year, and I have 19 pounds flown in every month. They're $2.42 a pound, which is only 43 cents more than you guys pay, free shipping, and they're fantastic. I think it's the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. And I just read today that if you could only live on one food, it should be those potatoes. It should be those purple potatoes. Because the Okinawans are the longest lived people on the planet, and they eat about 72% of their calories from them. So there we go. Nice. I like to get it really, really mixed. And look at that, I did 3. Where'd my little spoon go? Anybody know? Okay. Let me show you. I teach a lot in Texas. And for some reason, that's one of the states that hires me a lot. And they say that everything's bigger in Texas. But I asked if I could have a knife, and this is what they gave me. So, I don't know. All right. Okay. I guess everything's, okay, I'm wiping this off because I need to get an opinion of a member of the studio audience picked at random. You want me to pick him? Okay. Okay. You gotta face the audience and tell them what you think. What's your name?
My name is Jack.
Hi, Jack. Do you like it, Jack?
It is delicious.
Good, all right, thank you. I was gonna give it to you.
But this is fantastic.
I'm glad you like it.
I'm going to have a whole spoonful if you don't mind.
So, can we run this back to the kitchen to keep it cold? Thank you, Jack. We rehearsed that for hours, just so you know. Okay, and, all right, we're getting, and then you can bring the kale out. Aren't we going fast here? See, people think cooking is so hard. It's not hard, you just need the right tools. So as I said in my song, as long as there is kale, I know I'll be alive. Those of you that know me, I sign my name, Love and Kale. And I am going to show you one of my favorite recipes, one of my most popular. It's called Hail to the Kale. It's actually sold in some stores in LA and in a few restaurants. And even people that say they don't like kale tend to like this recipe. I'm making a quadruple recipe, so I'm hoping everything will fit in the blender. And if not, we'll have to take our time. So this is ginger, fresh ginger. It's organic, so I'm not going to peel it. I use an ounce. I use a half an ounce per recipe. I usually just weigh things. I have a scale at home, and all stores have a scale. Or I just find a piece the size of my thumb, and then this is double, so 2 thumbs. That's how I do. So going in, not peeling it because it's organic. Garlic somewhere. It's about 4 cloves, but as you notice, I don't even care whether I just put the garlic in. I mean, unless you don't like garlic's good. It's anti-inflammatory, keeps the vampires away. All right, so I don't have a measuring cup, or measuring spoon, so I'm gonna have to eyeball this. What we're gonna do is we need half a cup of lime, well actually we need a whole cup of lime juice because this is a quadruple recipe, so that's about half. Oh, actually there's little things right here. This is good. So I'm just going to use this. Perfect. I just didn't even notice. All right. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay. Now, so it's technically, everything is technically salt-free except this one recipe. I am adding something that actually does contain salt. It's called raw coconut aminos. I'm allergic to soy, and so in order for me to be able to taste this, I have to use a soy-free soy sauce. It's soy-free, gluten-free, wheat-free, but what I like about it even more than it's soy-free, it's the lowest sodium product out there. So salt, 1 teaspoon of salt has 2,300 milligrams of sodium. This has 113 per teaspoon. So you could have 24 teaspoons, which is 8 tablespoons of this for the same amount of sodium and 1 teaspoon of salt. And it tastes just like soy sauce. All that's in it is coconut sap and sea salt. And we're gonna use 4 tablespoons. So that's a 1/4 cup. Sorry, it's very hard. And I don't know why we even have left hands. They don't even work. Sorry if you're left-handed. I don't know how you left-handed people do it. You are left-handed. It's so hard to do anything left-handed and the right hand doesn't work. What are you gonna do? Okay, there we go. It's very thick, but that's good that it's thick because it's not that fake, stuff like, Skippy that comes out really soft. That's, basically hydrogenated oil and corn syrup, and wonder if you have any, actual peanuts in there. So, once I get that metal spoon, that would be good. Maybe I should use my knife. How about that? Why not? Hey, you gotta go with what you got, right? What do you think this knife is even for? I mean, and how does it even fit in a drawer? That's what I want to know. Okay. All right, let's see how it goes. Now we do it. Now normally you're probably not doing a ×4 recipe at a time. Thank you. This is really easy. All right. So we've got 3 big things of kale here. Thank you, it's red Russian kale. Because for people that have never had kale, kale can be a little bit bitter. So I got the tender kind, it's almost like a baby kale. Very good. All right. I'm really bad at math. I'm going to have 2 blenders divided by 3, so thank you. This looks bigger. Okay, so let's do 2/3. This looks like a little smaller, 1/3. And then we'll make 1 more. Does anybody want to help? Come on. Who's the other person? You're volunteering somebody else. Okay, so can you get a pair of gloves on? And would you mind massaging for me? Have you ever massaged anything before? Only people. Okay, so you're going to start over here because this one's already full, and then you're going to need a little bit more dressing, but you can start. So, yeah, you know what? You can move it over. Thank you for the help. Just move that to the side. If you weren't feeding all these people, you could probably just use your hands if you were just doing it for yourself. Isn't that fun? Just really dig in, show us some love. You want to get the dressing fully incorporated into every leaf. This is very thick stuff, but good dressing. So I think the reason people like this dressing so much is I just got lucky hitting all the notes. You know, we have taste buds on our tongue for sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. And so, yeah, that's like the 5th taste, like umami or pungent. And so the sweet comes from the dates, the sour comes from the lime juice, the salty comes from the raw coconut aminos, the bitter comes from the kale, and the pungent comes from the ginger. So I think we're getting me more dressing. I think that's, you think it has enough? Yeah. Wow. Do you need more dressing? Because there we go. Okay. I like things dressed lightly personally, but now the thing is when you buy bottled dressing or when you buy any processed food, you're buying a product that's full of fat and sugar and salt and not very healthy. And bottled dressing has a lot of sugar, often corn syrup. It's got a lot of oil. And what's so funny? Oh, she's funny? Oh. Okay. It's really easy to make your own dressing, and they do last for several weeks in the refrigerator. This dressing is not just good on the kale, but it's good on steamed vegetables like broccoli. It's good on potatoes and sweet potatoes. Oh, that's so good. Okay. You need more or not? Do you want to taste it and see if it needs more? You don't think this one needs any more, huh?
I think it looks good.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit.
There we go. There we go. A little more here? Yeah. Okay. That's all we got. Make it work. Okay, 4 recipes. We might even have time for talking. And look at, I'm such a messy chef. That is very true. Well, when you teach the blind, it doesn't matter because they can't see that I'm making a mess. I mean, you know, so, but, all right, what's next? Okay, I know what's next. Blender boy. Blender boy. Hello. You're so cute. Thank you. This is a bonus recipe in that you're not going to actually taste it, but I do want to show it to you because it's so ridiculously easy. One of the recipes you're going to be tasting tonight that you have the recipe for, but that I'm not making, is my raw granola. And the reason I'm not making it is it requires a dehydrator and it takes at least 36 hours to make. So I made it in advance, but I think you'll really like it. We're serving it with boxed almond milk because when you have 100 people, to make almond milk for that many would take a long time. But I want to show you how to make your own because it really is so easy to make your own plant milk. And I'll tell you how to make all of them. It doesn't matter if it's almond milk or oat milk or rice milk. Soy milk I wouldn't be able to tell you how to make because I do believe you do need a soy milk maker to do that. And again, I have nothing against soy. I love soy. People think I have something against soy. I am allergic to soy. It's just the way it is since I'm little, soy and milk. But soy is great and I love it. I just can't taste it. So soy milk is actually the cleanest milk out there. If you were to buy milk in a box, that would be the one I'd recommend because it's just most brands, soybeans and water. When you buy the rice milk and the oat milk and the almond milk in a box, it always has at least salt, if not also oil and sugar. But let me show you how easy and cheap it is to make your own. So I'm going to do almond milk here. And you know, in culinary school they taught us to make almond milk by taking our almonds and soaking them and sprouting them, and that's fine, it takes a really long time. An easier way to do it is just to get almond butter, raw almond butter. And I love these little packs because as a recovering food addict, I really can't have nuts hanging around my house, because if they're in the house, they're in my mouth. So I get these little packets, and these are 2 tablespoons, and this is all I need to make about 4 cups of almond milk. And these, you know, they're not that expensive, and we're just gonna mix it with water. And depending on how much, oh, I should have told them that I need water in the blender. Such a great question. What inspired me to do the whole sugar-free, oil-free, salt-free? What really inspired me was a place called True North in Santa Rosa, California, where I went as a patient in January of 2011, and I met Dr. Alan Goldhammer, and that's the way he's been eating for 40 years since he was 16, and I saw the remarkable health that the people that ate that way did. As I mentioned, I'm a food addict in recovery. I used to weigh almost 200 pounds, even vegan. Even as a vegan, I was obese, and I had the beginning of cancer from eating a junk food vegan diet. And I find that when I took out all those what we call pleasure trap foods, the sugar, oil, and salt, I was able to eat more food, be healthy, manage my weight, reverse my disease, and so that's why. When I learned about it, I mean, it sounds very extreme, but when you think about how human beings ate throughout most of human history, they did not put oil, sugar, and salt on their food. There is no oil in nature anywhere. There's no oil trees, there's no oil ponds. Oil is a highly processed, refined food. And the book I wrote 5 years ago, Unprocessed, talks about that I believe that we're not supposed to eat our food processed in a can, a box, a bottle, or a bag. And I don't know anybody that can really make oil in their own kitchen. I don't know anybody that can make agave or maple syrup in their own kitchen. And so the thing is I believe we're supposed to eat foods from a plant instead of foods that were manufactured in a plant. And oil is a very highly refined food. It's to make 1 tablespoon of olive oil, you need 44 olives, and most people would not eat 44 olives. To make 1 tablespoon of corn oil, you need 16 ears of corn, and most people wouldn't eat that much of the whole food. So I believe we're meant to eat the food whole, not processed. That's number 1. But then really after hearing Dr. Esselstyn speak and watching Forks Over Knives and how he explains how all oil contributes to heart disease, diabetes, and obesity by injuring these endothelial cells. I mean, it just, even though I don't have heart disease and I had low cholesterol, it just didn't make sense for me to keep eating it. Plus the fact that oil is 4,000 calories a pound and vegetables are 100 calories a pound, and I like to eat a lot of food, and when I eat the really high fat foods like nuts and oil, I have to eat less food, and I want to eat more food and way less. So that's a great question. The salt is actually the hardest, believe it or not. Oil is the easiest thing to replace in an SOS-free diet because you can use nuts, you can use seeds, you can use avocado, you can use whole food fat. Sugar is super easy because you can use fruit. Salt is hard because there's nothing really you can do other than not use it, and then people don't really like their food very much. So my 2 tablespoons of almond butter, I put it in my blender. If I wanted to make vanilla almond milk, I could put in a little alcohol-free vanilla extract or the seeds of a vanilla bean. If I wanted it sweet, I could put in a date. And this will last in your refrigerator 3 to 5 days. I would store it in a glass jar. It will separate. And that's it, almond milk. If you didn't want to make this much, you could take 1 teaspoon of almond butter to 1 cup of water and make it as you go along. But this looks and tastes just like the almond milk you buy in the box, except that it actually tastes better. And in the long run, it's much cheaper. We have done 5 recipes already. That's amazing. Oh, guys, I don't know if you noticed, but the pressure cooker's almost done over there. It's kind of far back, but that's almost done. Does anybody want to taste this? Okay, it's not going to be sweet because I didn't put any dates in, but these are completely clean cups. So, because Jack hasn't drunk from it yet. There you go. Anybody want a little milk? Oh, God. How many hands?
I'm not shy. Come on.
Oh, God, I would be the worst. She helped, so if you have a cup, oh, gosh, I hate to be, I would have been terrible at Sophie's Choice. I don't know what I would have done. Oh, they're waving. What am I supposed to? If I give you this, will you guys share it? All right. Here, just drink from the blender. Now we're going to make your dessert. And that's really, it's funny because I always joke that I'm a pastry chef in recovery because I make a lot of desserts, I just don't eat them anymore because a friend of mine who's in AA said to me, don't get high on your own supply. And I realized that it's not the best job for somebody that's obese and a food addict to be a pastry chef, but I really was a darn good one. And I was able to make desserts that were not only vegan, but that didn't have sugar, oil, salt, and for the most part gluten or flour. It was a regular restaurant, not a vegan restaurant. I just didn't tell anybody because when you go for a job as a pastry chef, you basically just go in the kitchen, you make stuff. They don't at least in my restaurant, they didn't micromanage me and the stuff was really good. And it was a really great experience. So there's about 40 dessert recipes in Unprocessed. I actually start the book with dessert. And you are going to be having these dessert very soon. I made about over 100 of them in advance, so hopefully there's not more than 100 people here. And these are peanut butter fudge truffles. So I call this chocolate fondue because it's like fondue, but it's really fun. And so as Lorraine said in my introduction, I don't use sugar, so that means I don't use agave or maple syrup or barley malt or molasses or brown rice syrup or all the other names that they hide. I don't use the fake sugars like saccharin. I don't use the sugar alcohols like erythritol, xylitol, and I don't use stevia. And we can talk about why I don't if you want in just a second. Because fruit is nature's candy. It's very, very sweet. Has anybody ever eaten a date? They're really sweet. They're like sweeter than sugar. They're about 70% sugar, but they're a whole natural food, which means that they have fiber and water and vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals and antioxidants and micronutrients. Sugar has none. And it's about 1,800 calories a pound. Did you know that Americans eat over 150 pounds of sugar per person per year? That's about a half a pound a day, and sugar is about 1,800 calories a pound. That means that most Americans are eating 900 calories from something that really isn't even food. And I don't eat any, and somebody out there I know is eating my share. You know who I think it is? I think it's you. No, you. I think it's you, right? It's not you? You weren't listening, so you don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay. He looks like I think, do you eat a lot of sugar, sir? Do you eat, obviously he does. Do you eat a lot of sugar? You do. So I was right. He's eating my share, 300 pounds a year. That's why he's not able to pay attention, see? All right, well, let me show you an alternative, dates. So what I like to do is make my own date paste. I don't know if you can buy it here, but in LA you can buy commercial date paste, but it's cheaper and it's very easy to make your own. So what you do is you take dates, you pit them, and you soak them. And what you soak them in depends on the recipe. Usually I just use water because water's free, but sometimes I'll use non-dairy milk and sometimes I might use an unsweetened juice like pomegranate juice or orange juice, but these were just dates soaked in water, and my ratio is 1 pound of dates to 1 cup of water. If you're in a hurry, use boiling water because the dates need to soften. After they soften, you do need a food processor. This won't work as well in a blender, even a good one like a Vitamix. You take a food processor fitted with the S-blade. It's called the S-blade because it looks like the letter S. You dump it in with the soak liquid. That soak liquid, now if you're soaking nuts, you throw away that liquid. It's terrible tasting. You don't want that, but the water that when you soak fruit, you want that because that's where all the sugar is. So if you're trying to get off sugar, you can actually soak things like dates or raisins in water and use that water to, say, make your tea or things like that. You put it in and then you puree it, and then it becomes this amazing, thick, lovely paste that you can do everything with. You can bake with, you can make raw desserts with. When Halloween comes around, you can take apples and make caramel apples with it. So this stuff is great. This is 1 cup of date paste. This had almond butter on it, so I'm not, unless somebody has a nut allergy, I'm too far away to wash it. So 1 cup of this date paste, which is absolutely delicious. And then 1 cup of peanut butter. And again, all the nut butters and the seed butters are interchangeable. I've done this with tahini and almond butter when I've done raw food demos. So 1 cup. This has no sugar or no salt, this peanut butter. If you've ever looked at the label on Skippy, it's scary what they put in processed food. So 1-to-1 ratio. Half a cup of, actually I'm using, I believe, cacao powder or cocoa powder. The brand we are using is called Dagoba. My favorite brand, if you can find it, I don't know if you can because I'm a little bit of a snob, even though I don't eat chocolate. Actually, I haven't eaten chocolate since November 7th, 2010, but I still enjoy it. Good stuff. Pressure cooker's ready. But the chocolate powder or the cocoa powder I enjoyed the most was something called Valrhona from France. If you're a snob, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's dark, it's rich, but there's really no bad chocolate. So this is an excellent brand. 1/2 cup. And then 1 teaspoon of alcohol-free vanilla. It's somewhere on this table. There it is, okay. I actually do usually make my own vanilla extract. Again, it really is cheaper when you cook things from scratch. I take 2 vanilla beans. You can buy them in bulk, much less expensive. 2 vanilla beans to 1 cup of water, and it's called vanilla water. It lasts about 3 weeks in the fridge. Did you know that vanilla is the 2nd most expensive spice in the world? You did know that. What's the first? This is a smart audience, except for the guy over there no, I'm just kidding. I'm teasing. It's okay, you're good looking, you don't have to be smart, so it's all right. Keeping that on. So the thing about an immersion blender or a stick blender, these are about $20, is you put it down to the bottom of the pan and you move it around. Never hold it and then lift it up. You will burn yourself. So only if you lift it up, make sure you're not doing this. So as soon as we get this plugged in, you can certainly do this in your blender. You just have to do it very carefully. So what we do, and this just blends all these onions, everything up really quickly. I've had this for about 15 years. This is the easiest way to make soup. And by the way, even though this is my recipe, I do all recipes this way. I see any soup recipe, and this is how I make it. It's just so much easier than cutting it up. And the great thing about not using oil is you save the money from the oil, you save all the calories from a 4,000 calorie a pound food that's 120 calories per tablespoon with no fiber and nutrients, and you save so much time because I didn't have to saute anything. Oh, you know what we need in here is a little bit of lime juice. I do use a lot of citrus because I'm not using salt, and the taste buds for sour sit right next to the taste buds for salt, and so you can kind of trick your taste buds when you do that. I think I can probably turn that off now. So what we'll do is we can transfer all those ingredients into the Vitamix. I'll have to add a little bit of non-dairy milk with the Vitamix to blend it. Is it working?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow. Yay, thank you.
It's a plant-based diet.
Yep, wait. Okay, so would you mind, just in the interest of time, if we take this back and you guys finish that up in there?
Oh, yes.
Did you understand what I'm doing? Right, and then, yeah. And what we'll do is after it's blended, somebody might need to help him, we're gonna stir in these ingredients. The 3 cans of beans. Okay. We're using the liquid from the beans because there's no salt, and the corn. So, you know what? Somebody will have to help him carry these 3 items. Thank you. Okay, this is great. So we have one more recipe. Okay, looking for. Okay. All right, people. There it is. Okay, so I have in here 1 cup of peanut butter. Yes, thank you. 1 cup of peanut butter. 1 cup of date paste, 1/2 cup of cocoa or raw cacao powder, and I'm going to put a little bit of non-dairy milk. This is unsweetened vanilla to get it to blend. And that's that. So what this is I call this chocolate fondue. It's like fondue, but it's fun. Now, right now, it's kind of liquidy, and that's fine for the fondue, but to make your truffles, what I had to do is refrigerate it for several hours, and then when it firmed up, took one of these scoops. I have my crushed nuts, and then I went plop, and like that. But let me show you something really fun. What I'm going to show you is one of my favorite things to do with them. And actually, you guys have very different bananas here, something called apple bananas. Have you guys ever seen those? Like, duh, yeah. Well, I didn't until yesterday, and I bought some, and they're very good. They're different, but they're very good. I really like them. But what good is it? They won't let me take anything home. You know? Guess I'll just have to move here. Yay. I know. This is I'm serious. I've been to almost every state in the last 4 years, including Mexico, which is basically California, and Canada, and this really is, up until Okay, I was going to say it was Alaska until I came here. So Hawaii first, Alaska second. Am I right? Yeah. As far as beauty is concerned, really it is, and people are really nice. It just seems like there's no stress in Hawaii. Or is it just because I'm not, there is stress, it's just, okay. You must be very stressed. You got that big stick. I don't know what you're doing with it. I'm just so worried. He's in the front row, and I'm just worried that if I miss Steph, you know. So let me show you something really fun to do. What I like to do is, where'd that cutting board go? Perfect. Obviously, we're not going to have time to freeze these, but have you guys ever been to Disneyland or heard of Disneyland? It's ever heard of a guy named Mickey? Okay, so they sell frozen bananas at Disneyland, and then when I was growing up, it was one of my favorite things. But you know, it's got dairy and all kinds of sugar and things like that. So what you can do is you can make your own version of frozen bananas, and you can get a stick at a craft store. You guys have Michael's here? Michael's? Okay, but you have craft stores probably, all right. And they might have it at Bed Bath & Beyond. But I'm gonna make it into little pieces because then more people can taste. But what I like to do is you take a stick and you roll the fondue in the banana, then roll it into crushed nuts, and then you freeze it. And it tastes just like the frozen bananas that you would get at Disneyland. What's really fun to do with this fondue, if you don't wanna make it into truffles, is, and by the way, if you make it into truffles, which is the way you guys are going to eat it, you can buy these papers, and I'm pretty sure they sell them at Bed Bath & Beyond, these little candy papers. They were like $3 for 500 of them. But it's fun to get skewers, and then you take your fruit and put it on your skewers, and then you have people dip. So, well, here. So what we got to do is do like this, and then do like this, and then... No, I like...
Choose the chop.
I was going to give it to the man with the big stick. To H.L. Lau, who lives at 1010 South King Street. Oh, Suite 304. Are you single? Oh, you're not single. Is that good? Do you like that? Yeah. Okay.
Some days.
Okay. All right. Is it good? Do you like it? So we'll have, we got 1, 2, 3, we got a bunch of, you know, we could do some trivia to win these. How's that? Let's do that. But in the meantime, let me get the pressure cooker. What I love about this pressure cooker, oh, by the way, if you go to www.instantpot.com, you'll get $50 off if you use my name, which is AJ. This was ready 11 minutes ago, but I didn't have time to attend to it. So what's great is, it will just be a slow cooker now. So if I wanted to take a bath or walk my dog, it's fine. I don't have to worry about releasing the pressure. But what I'm going to do is unplug it and bring it over here. Releasing the pressure, this is the part that seems to scare a lot of people. Right now it's under pressure, which means I can't open the lid. Even strong Russell wouldn't be able to open this lid, which is good, which is why it's safe. People that are afraid to release the pressure, just go do something for 10 or 20 minutes and then the pressure will release naturally. But we want to eat this now, so we're going to release the pressure. And all you do is turn the valve. And that's it. And I teach at a spa in Mexico that costs $5,000 a week to attend, and they spend like hundreds on facials. And with a pressure cooker, you can get a facial with all these antioxidants. It's free. It's completely free. You see? And it smells good. This is a red lentil chili facial. If you come tomorrow, we'll be offering the split peas facial. So these things are great. I made you smile. Yeah, I did. All right. So what I think we should do is all the people that volunteered should come up first right now and get this. Because the people that helped should take their stick and get one for themselves.
Thank you.
I think you helped. So you brought something in, you helped. You're cute, so here you go. Hey, sugar addict, get over here. Come on.
Invited the food processor.
Anybody that ever did anything in their life for anyone. There you go. Wait, no, you have to wait. Okay, but we're gonna do some trivia. That'll be fun. So those of you with forks, come here. Those of you with forks, take a banana, Dip it in.
Oh, just like fondue.
Yeah, it's just like fondue. Isn't this fun? Take as much as you want. Now dip it in the nuts.
Okay. Oh, okay. So this.
You get it?
All right.
These people learn fast in Hawaii. Don't forget to dip. But can you see how much fun, if you had kids, this would be so much fun? And I hear you guys eat a lot of Spam here. You could actually do this with Spam. You know? You could puree the Spam.
Do we eat it or we
Oh,
wait?
well, no, eat it. You can eat it, l'chaim, or whatever you want. There you go. It's good, right? It's even better frozen, but it's really good not frozen. It's delicious, right?
With the banana frozen? Or what?
It's good when you freeze the whole thing, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 bananas left, so we're going to do some trivia, okay? Maybe we'll do trivia from my book. Okay. Did you want a fork? Here you go. Oh, you have, yeah. Oh, you're going to lay me. Thank you. Oh, that's, wait. Oh, wait a minute. Mwah. You're so cute. Thank you. I've been getting laid every day since I got here. I said this today in the presentation, so help me out who says it first. How many milligrams of sodium in a teaspoon of salt? 2,300. See, now you'll learn to pay attention because there'll be prizes. Here you go. Okay, what tattoo do I have on my back? What? No, I'll show you. It's not in my book. Kale would have been good. I'll give you a hint. It's my favorite cartoon character. There you go. Please don't tell my family because I'm Jewish and you're not supposed to get these. I'm going to be in big trouble. Well, that's it. So, okay. If you don't, I'm going to end with a, we can take this back if you want. I have no more recipes, so what I can do is I can talk, I can shut up, I can sing. But I wanted to tell you, I'm really passionate about no sugar, oil, salt too, but so long. When I was a little kid, I used to go to a restaurant and I was bored and I would pour packets of sugar in my water. It tasted like sugar with a little bit of tea flavoring in it. And I thought it was so funny that in Atlanta, all the sugar, I don't know if you saw it, but came like this in these long things. And I figured out why, because that way you don't even have to eat it. It's perfect because guys, that sugar is more addictive than cocaine or heroin. That's what all the research is showing now, so not good stuff. Yeah, okay, so the thing is and again, here's the answer to your question. I like to work with people individually, and so it depends what your goals are, because if you're not a food addict, I work with a lot of food addicts, and salt actually stimulates the appetite. For somebody trying to lose weight that's a food addict, it's not such a good thing. So the thing about stevia is if your goal is to not have such a sweet tooth, it's the worst thing you can do, because the sugars that have no calories perpetuate the desire for more sweet. So as bad as sugar is for you, at least it has 4 calories a gram, and so you have this sweet taste, your brain says, oh, food's coming. But when you use stevia or you use erythritol or xylitol, it has no calories. And so what happens is it makes you hungrier and it just perpetuates your desire for more sweet. The other thing is if you are a food addict, it's still sugar. It may have 0 calories, but all sugar, all flour goes through the same refining process as cocaine, as alcohol. And so you always want to eat the whole food. Now, if you wanted to take a stevia leaf and chew on it, it probably isn't so bad, but most people aren't doing the leaf. They're using these highly processed liquids and powders. Somebody that's a diabetic, that may be the only thing they can have until they reverse their diabetes. But again, it's an exceedingly cloyingly high sensation of sweet. Everybody I know that goes to stevia ends up not only not losing weight, but they end up becoming addicted to the stevia, and then they can't eat anything without that stevia. So I haven't had anybody have really good results from it. I tasted it once accidentally, and I was craving sugar the whole day. Yeah, I can't clap. Clap with me. Eating whole food will keep us together. Think of me, guys, whenever something juicy steak comes along, singing its song. Eat with your heart and you just can't go wrong. So stop, because meat is gonna kill you. Stop. Why not let whole food fill you? Eat with your heart and let love feed us together forever. all could improve our eating. And baby, it's worth repeating that vegetable protein is complete. You are what you eat, and who do you know that's a slab of dead meat? So stop, because poultry's no better for you. Oh, you Irish setter, eat with your heart and let love feed us together forever. With high cholesterol, someday your health will be gone. Before the surgeon cuts open your chest, there's a bandwagon you can jump on right here, right now. We all have got to eat with kindness and put all that killing behind us. So now's the time to get off the fence. It only makes sense to eat and to live with reverence. So stop eating all of God's creatures. Stop and let them be your teachers. Eat with your heart and let love feed us together forever. I will, he will, she will, with you. I'm Chef AJ. Thank you for coming, and remember, peace begins on your plate. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Let them be your teachers. Eat with your heart and let love feed us together forever. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, AJ, Chef AJ, for this wonderful and delightful cooking demonstration. You're wonderfully talented in every way. Everybody, please join us out in the lanai for delicious food, all prepared by Chef AJ, and with a lot of the ingredients provided by the generosity of Down to Earth. And I hope you enjoy that. Thank you so much for coming.
This program is brought to you by the Vegetarian Society of Hawaii, a nonprofit organization dedicated to sharing with the community the many benefits of a vegetarian diet. Free monthly meetings include vegetarian experts down locally and on the mainland, quick and easy cooking demonstrations, and healthful and delicious food samples. Members enjoy an informative quarterly newsletter, social activities, and discounts at many vegetarian-friendly restaurants and health food stores. For an application, call 944-8344. That's 944-8344. Or visit our website at www.vsh.org. vsh.org.